Hello, kia ora, g'day, I'm Philip Duncan from WeatherWatch TV with your Australia-only forecast through until Sunday. Let's get into it. We've got some very heavy downpours around northern parts of Queensland, the Northern Territory, severe thunderstorms in here, and plenty of showers coming out from the Kimberley into Northern Territory. That is the leftovers of what was Cyclone Diane, made landfall on Saturday morning north of Broome in a very remote part of Western Australia. The leftovers now moving into the central part of Australia, and all of that is tracking eastwards and will be coming into some parts of New South Wales, but mostly coming into Queensland over the coming days. We've also got a lot of high pressure building in the south that is going to keep a lot of southern areas dry, but not completely dry, because autumn is finally waking up for those of you in the south. So let's kick off with the air pressure map for this evening. Ex-tropical cyclone Diane off here in the northwest. We've got further low pressure around Queensland. East coast low, that is east of Sydney, quite a big storm out there. The air pressure getting down to the 970s as far as the air pressure in the middle is concerned. And the big high coming in towards Tasmania, Victoria, still affecting South Australia and the southern coastline of Western Australia. And then way out at sea, Courtney. May not be a severe cyclone by the time you're watching this. It's finally falling apart as it drops southwards. No threat to land with that storm there. In fact, we don't really see much in the way of tropical cyclones over the next week or so. And I'm going to explain why. It's quite a simple reason. High pressure to the south is going to be ballooning out across the continent itself rather than south of you. Over the last couple of months, some of the centres of these highs have been tracking south of Tasmania. Now they're coming up, and as you see this week, comes inland. That does make a difference to your airflows, and particularly around the north of the country, just how far south that rain gets. But as we go off into Tuesday, the first day of April, all of this is low pressure from the Kimberley over towards Rockhampton. So that's going to produce severe thunderstorms and other thunderstorms around there. Also around Alice Springs, Uluru, you're seeing that in the central part of Aussie. Further to the south, in the southeast corner, you've got a south to southeasterly wind blowing off the sea, temperatures down a little bit, and that storm east of Sydney driving in some showers along the eastern side of New South Wales, coastal areas. Otherwise, not a lot going on. As we go into Wednesday, Tassie and Victoria still mostly dry. The storm offshore moves a little closer to New Zealand, so winds will ease back, sunnier weather, or at least drier weather returns. Unless you're up here though, around northern rivers going up to Brisbane, there's another area of low pressure forming here, or at least just drifting off the land over the sea, helps to make it a little bit more powerful. So you could be seeing some heavy rain and severe thunderstorms, mostly between Port Macquarie and Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast, but you could be seeing isolated severe thunderstorms, Mount Isa over towards the Northern Territory. So kind of a widespread area from Darwin to Brisbane, seeing those severe thunderstorms on Wednesday, but there are still some larger areas you see in the blue there, where bottom of the scale, just a few showers around. Also a few showers in the southern coastal parts of Western Australia. Main theme over there, easterly winds still blowing through. They can be a bit blustery on Wednesday and again here on Thursday, where it's mostly dry, a little bit windy, temperatures up. The same old story we've seen for the last few months. We do see some showers coming in here. Now from the looks of this map here, it's not very much. You're talking about a few showers or just a few spits. So that's just going to evaporate for the most part. It's not going to do much good, but we do get a little bit of a chance. Ceduna to Adelaide and then over towards about Melbourne. Southerly winds coming through here because the next big high pressure zone is trying to push on in. Still seeing severe thunderstorms and heavy rain from the Sunshine Coast all the way up to the Northern Territory. You've got that again here on Thursday. And on Friday, it starts to shrink. It starts to get smaller, that wet weather up in the tropics. Drier conditions coming through sort of from southern parts of Queensland right across New South Wales and into Victoria. Those southerlies bringing in some showers for Victoria and over towards South Australia and Western Australia. It won't be much. You just got a few showers because it's going to feel like autumn coming through here, especially on Friday night, going into Saturday morning. You can see the blue line here. That means Antarctic air behind it. That will be pushing up towards Bass Strait by Friday night. And that brings the next change going into the weekend, a burst of autumn coming through. Rain relief in parts of Victoria and Tasmania. It may not be very much because it's so westerly driven. So that means the west coast gets it rather than the eastern side where you want it. But you do see some rain and severe thunderstorms coming through as you get that temperature change. Southerly winds come into Canberra, the A.C.T, and then later on Sydney. Could even be a dusting of snow on the mountains. So there we go. Welcome to autumn. It arrives this week and weekend. Elsewhere, though, you're not seeing a great deal of change other than the high pressure belt in the Indian Ocean is now starting to expand here into the middle part of Australia. And you see that even more so on Sunday. High pressure expanding out. It's not south of Tasmania anymore. It's moving northwards, which it does at this time of the year. And that starts to push the monsoon rain further back up towards Papua New Guinea and Indonesia. So we've still got another month or so to be tracking this wet weather in the north here. We're not done with it yet. And we're probably in that strange month where 1 week it starts to look as though we're going into that drier season that we get more towards winter. Other times it still looks as though we're where we are. So we'll be monitoring that, but the high pressure zone coming through the south here, that's a significant change to the weather pattern and means that you've got westerlies blowing now in the southeastern corner. Last few weeks, a lot of easterlies blowing from coast to coast, from east to west. That runs out here on Sunday. You've got westerly winds, going to feel like autumn in the south. Still got east to northeasterlies though, from Perth southwards. And those severe thunderstorms where they should be up in the tropics on Sunday. So there we go, a few moving parts to your weather. We've got our Climate Watch video out tomorrow, the 1st of April. That's our big picture outlook for the next few weeks ahead as far as air pressure and temperatures and rain are concerned. It is primarily a New Zealand video, but we've noticed over the last several months, mostly due to your comments, we are including Australia in that a lot more. So that is out tomorrow afternoon, the 1st of April, and we will see you again otherwise on Thursday with our 7-day rainfall outlook for Australia, and we'll be taking a look at those rainfall totals from state to state and territory to territory. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you in the next couple of days.